Huge news out of the Americas for the footballing world. The Copa America is not confirmed, but looks like it's going to be held in the USA in 2024. We have a lot of things to say about it, so we hope you guys will stick around. Before we
W.
get to that, huge W. Huge W. That's our first statement.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, we'll say welcome back to the For the Bad Football channel. Grateful to have you here. Took a little bit of break because of the break in the World Cup, but more match reactions will come out as matches unfold, as the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the final match unfold. So if you're interested in those, please subscribe. Please like this video and comment your opinions on the Copa America being held in the USA. So getting to it, Copa America being held in the USA 2024, 2 years before the World Cup is being shared amongst the North American countries, and 4 years before the Olympics. So in the span of 4 years, there's three major soccer/football tournaments in the USA. What does this mean for U.S. soccer in general? I think it's huge personally, but what do you guys think?
I think the timing couldn't be better. I think it's wonderful timing, the perfect opportunity to really test yourselves against the best that South America has to offer. Definitely. And I think we all know that the U.S. will get knocked out by a bigger team very predictably. But yeah. I think it's also because of that. I don't want people being like, "Oh my God, you guys are going to get knocked out." That's not the point. We know that. We're not expecting to go in there winning. We're expecting to develop. Practice, go against the best of the best in Argentina, in Brazil, even in Uruguay, and in Colombia and
Ecuador now.
Ecuador's Yeah. So it's so good for practicing, because you need to do this on a somewhat consistent basis to really get the team going.
I mean, especially in comparison to the South American and like European teams, they have, in the year between the World Cups, they have Euros and Copa America, of course, and so they're practicing against the best competition that they can do. In the USA, all we have is the Gold Cup, really. Like, it's the most that we have.
Hey, Gold Cup,
which is like, it's entertaining to watch, right? But the highest competition for what we have, but the highest competition is Mexico. And even then, as of right now, I put USA higher than Mexico. So it's not really it's not good enough practice for it.
How do you say no to that?
No, I was just kidding. I agree. I completely
It's
agree.
not good enough practice for the World Cup if you're playing people way lower than you, beater teams. No offense to these nations, but you need to be playing at the best of the best. And even after USA lost to Netherlands, that was, I think, the main topic on Twitter, at least I was saying, is that even Taylor Twellman was saying we need to be practicing more against bigger and better nations. And not even a day or two later, these rumors come out, which is fantastic. And also, not just for the USA, Mexico and Canada are also rumored to be playing in it as well, which is huge for both teams. I think, especially Mexico, who have historically played more consistent, higher competitions than the USA, because they've been in Copa America before, right? A couple times.
Yeah,
it was just the last time, 7-0 loss to Chile was embarrassing,
disappointing.
And then we decided to go back to the Gold Cup so we could actually win something, and then that didn't work out.
And it didn't.
And then so we're back at the Copa America.
For all three of these North American nations, this is exactly what we need, because I think all three are in a state of growth and development. I think Mexico has had their history; they're a little more past that. I think it's time for Mexico, to I don't want to say rebuild, but grow into a new identity.
No, I agree with that as a Mexico fan. It's time to rebuild.
Exactly. Okay. Time to rebuild, grow its new identity with these younger players. Canada the same. They're just stepping into their filling their shoes as a North American team with the young players, Buchanan, Alphonso Davies, a lot of players. The player, who is it? Was it Kone that just went to Watford a few days ago? He just got transferred to Watford. The Canadian wonder kid.
That's right. Yeah.
And then, of course, USA, who we know, who needs, is arguably has the highest ceiling out of the three. Not to say the other two don't, but USA right now, as I was saying, this is sensational for the teams in general, for sure. I also do want to say, as a whole for football in the country, this is fantastic, because this is three huge competitions in a span of 4 years where fans can go and watch them play. And which is important and very, very great. I think even for us, I want to go. I want to go to a game in at least each competition.
Yeah.
You know, it's to have it on home soil and to see firsthand these games at times that most Americans can probably watch it, which is very different than the World Cup, because a lot of Americans aren't going to wake up at 2, 5, or 8 in the morning to watch this game. This is fantastic and exactly what the sport needs in the country. That's my spiel.
I agree with everything you just said there. I don't know what to add. I just the fan experience for us three, I think would be cool. I mean, having all the games here, especially the Olympics, World Cup, Copa America. So, yeah, should be fun. I have a fun couple of years. Got to start saving up money to go out of these things. But
I know.
Definitely gonna try. Who knows? Maybe we'll be big enough where you get free tickets by then. Who knows?
Okay.
But to help us get there, like and subscribe. There's my plug.
It's time for loans. It's time for a loan every 2 years, guys.
I do think. I think something to add as well is that this will hopefully also make U.S. fans, just in general, more into it, more passionate.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to say the biggest problem, but one of the bigger problems is when you compare what we are fans and you compare them to the South American fans. It's not even close. It's not even a competition. Right. Like some of those South American fans are crazy, and I'm not saying we're ever going to beat that because they've been following it for years, decades. But if we could even get somewhere to where the U.S. fans are passionate and are there, and then I know there's a small portion that do that, but we would make it that bigger. Make it a bigger following. Would
like
be
a 32-52 basically type of spiel.
A passionate fan base.
With better chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that goes where
it's all game. Yeah. And not saying soccer all the time because that's just embarrassing at that point. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be great. Like, in terms of like we said, like people being able to watch it is going to be fantastic. And just going to games. I mean, like the excitement of being able to say that you've had a important game held in your city, like Kansas City, like stuff like that. I do want to say also, like, this is huge for the Midwest because I don't know if you guys have seen the viewership rates, but like a lot of the biggest markets for the World Cup was in the Midwest, Kansas City, St. Louis, things like that. This is huge for them who normally don't even have big, like, sports markets in general. No offense to teams out there, right? But like you hear of like big tournaments coming or international games or whatever. In general, like you hear LA, New York, Florida, things like that. And to be able to spread it a little more and have a lot more things to spread across the country is going to be fantastic to expose the game for sure. Throughout. So, yeah.
Agreed.
Not too much to add. I mean, it's a good opportunity as well for, I think, like the South American teams too, because there's a huge South American population in the United States. We all know that. And so it's big for those fans too, to be able to watch their home nations and ancestral nations here and support them and back them. So I think it'd be great. I think we're definitely going to go to a game in at least one. That has to be the goal.
Yeah, definitely one.
Hopefully the final of the USA with USA in every single one of them.
Imagine the scenes.
It's a joke.
Flashback to this one. Just like, hey, we called it like so many years ago.
Just saying. No, that'd be absolutely mind-blowing. It's not going to happen, but it'd be mind-blowing. No,
wishful thinking.
But I mean, just to watch like USA versus Brazil would be crazy. That'd be so fun to watch. And also, I do want to say, we have competed against big teams, right? But rarely in a real competition. It's always friendlies, which means you're never, ever playing them at their best, and you're never playing at your best because it's just a friendly. Yeah. These competitions are huge for these nations, and it's going to make them perform at their best, especially Copa America, at least, and that's going to be huge because Brazil, Colombia, Uruguay, they're going to be playing their best teams to bring the silverware home. And it's going to be fun to watch and good for the players to get experience compared to playing, Netherlands B team or like a New Zealand or something, just to keep everyone fresh, right? So, all right. I mean, is that all? Anyone else have any thing to add here before we move on to the?
No.
Andres?
No, the moral of the story is good for U.S. development in terms of establishing themselves as a footballing nation. That's about it, really.
But before I want to end it, I do want to propose something. Is that should CONCACAF and CONMEBOL merge in some way, in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I mean, just say it's the because Europe has the Europe thing. Yeah, I'd say so.
I don't know. I think don't get me wrong. I know we're all thinking about the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, but you're forgetting about every other nation that's so much weaker, and putting them in the CONCACAF is suicide. They're gonna get destroyed. They're gonna be San Marino every game. Like
San Marino.
I think, don't get me wrong. I think the top teams, maybe we could think about potentially moving them there, just with how big the class difference is. But those lower teams, you can't. I don't know. You can't really put them with South America. They're gonna get.
Yeah,
so absolutely dominated. Yeah,
Panama versus Colombia.
There has to be a middle ground where maybe the top teams can every once in a while come to CONMEBOL, not CONMEBOL, CONCACAF. No, CONMEBOL. Sorry,
CONMEBOL, yeah.
But CONCACAF, you have to be careful with some of those teams. It's not going to really be helpful for them just to move them into CONMEBOL from the CONCACAF.
Yeah.
It'll take time. It just depends on what. Every now and then, invite would be cool. Kind of makes it special.
Sure. Or maybe like a tournament or something. Like somehow you find out the top 4 teams of each continent, and they play a tournament together, and that's just like its own little thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a Nations League type vibe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but between 2 continents. Yeah, I could see that for sure. I mean,
that'd be cool. And then no, you can't do that. I was gonna say, and then against Europe and Asia, but that would just be a World Cup at that point. So I was like, the World Cup then loses value. So never mind.
Yeah.
I would say I forgot to mention earlier, but the reason the USA look like they're gonna get it is that Ecuador was supposed to host it, and I don't know why, but they backed out. So that left a gap for the USA to swoop in, which is great.
Yeah.
I think by then too, I wouldn't be surprised if we see I don't want to say change, but a lot of improvement in the footballing infrastructure. In some way, shape, or form. Ideally, it'd be a change in the MLS. Because the last time we had the World Cup was the reason we have the MLS now, right? It was formed as a result of it. I think the same year, like the year after, or something like that. So if we can have the World Cup here and finally turn it into a relegation or
proper tier system,
a proper football
system. It's so possible. It's gonna take money, but in time, but it's so possible.
Yep. So. Yep. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much what we have to add then. Well, if you've gotten to this point and you like the video, please click like on the video. Like we said, comment your opinions. If they differ from ours, anything, and maybe we could react to it in another video. We've had a lot of engagement recently with comments, which we really appreciate. We really like a lot, and hopefully, if we get enough, we could do one of those reaction videos to our comments or debating those kind of things. That'd be great. If you like the content, if you want to see more regarding this topic, regarding the World Cup, regarding all things football, please consider subscribing and turning notifications on so you can see the videos right away when they come out. And I think that's pretty much all we got. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the reaction videos for the 2 quarterfinals games. And so we'll see you guys then.
Peace.
Sick.